Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gargoyles episode reviews. Today we're looking at Upgrade. There's one word for the pack. Insane. They're full-on criminals now, but that doesn't keep the clan from pummeling them. They're tired of the Gargoyles beating them within an inch of their lives, though. Luckily, Coyote, Xanatos' robot body double, appears. Well, his head does, since that's all that's left of him. He's here to introduce a new line of Xanatos Enterprises products: cybernetics, robotics, genetics, and armor. The pack buys in. Now, squicky, horrifying, and sobering are three words that describe the pack. Behind all this is David Xanatos. Fox plays a role too, his opponent in a chess game. There's more to the competition than spousal bonding, though, namely the fate of the clan and the pack. Missed last week? It was a good one. Double Jeopardy. Go read it or watch it. Spoilers in the 2020 moments. Info from Ask Greg is in the According to Greg bits. Season 2, Episode 17. Upgrade. Possibly spoilery reasons for existence. To decide who the clan's second in command is. To decide who the leader of the pack will be. Again. To develop the pack as a formidable force that will sacrifice their humanity for advantage. To develop Fox and David's relationship. To show how capable Fox is. To prove that Xanatos has married an equal and that he couldn't be happier about this. To give Coyote another evolution/upgrade. To set Dingo's story in motion. Main antagonist, the pack, Xanatos, Fox. Times: November, I'm assuming the end of November, and December 15th, 1995. Locations: New York City, New York. Upgrade. And there's clouds over the city. I love that title, by the way. Previously on Gargoyles, Xanatos uses the robot Coyote, which is his twin in voice and appearance, to break the pack out of prison and give Fox a shot at an early parole. The Gargoyles destroy the robot, but David shrugs it off. Robots are nothing, as he can make a dozen more. But true love is so much harder to come by. Side note, Xanatos sees robots as tools. Given his druthers, he prefers to work with people. People have weaknesses, people are loyal, or people just, are more enjoyable, more fun, more of a challenge. This is diametrically opposed to Renard's view. Old man Renard thinks robots are the perfect creation since they don't suffer from the moral lapses that people do. Oceans 4, not 11. We open on the rooftop where the pack has parked their hovercraft/submarine/jet. It looks like the Millennium Falcon. The one that they had back in Leader of the Pack. Well, I'm pretty sure this parking is illegal, but that's the least of their worries. They're robbing a bank. Yes, they've fallen to robbing a bank. The Gargoyles writers don't overuse this trope. I appreciate this, since it makes it more realistic. Large-scale bank heists aren't common. Yeah, because banks really don't keep that much cash on hand, and it's probably traceable even if they do. Last time we saw bank robbers was in City of Stone, and they were really just unspecified terrorists who had a beef with the establishment. Ah, how the mighty have fallen. The once loved TV stars are now escaped convicts who can't manage any criminal pursuit more complicated than a smash-and-grab burglary. We've finally sunk to robbing banks, says Dingo. I'm not attempting an Aussie accent, sorry. And they have blown a hole in the vault door, and Wolf is trying to pull it down even though there's quite a large chunk of it missing there that they could easily go through. They're so smart. So, got a little dissension among the ranks there with Dingo. Now, needless to say, the clan arrives to shut this nonsense down. Since apparently cops really can't do anything. Kind of like the ones in Gotham City, huh? Everyone gets tossed around for a few rounds. Dingo and Wolf finally tase Goliath. Good thing, too, because Jackal's getting his tail handed to him by Broadway. Really, none of the pack are a match for the Gargoyles. The gang barely managed to make enough breathing room to escape. Pretty humiliating. Heck, Goliath and Lexington, just those two, okay, 2 Gargoyles, and Lexington isn't even that big, defeated the whole pack, including Fox, last year. And that's, again, with Fox leading. So that's also an extra member of the gang. Jackal is recovering in Hyena's arms on the ship when a knock at the hatch sounds. In the air? Like, they let in Coyote's half-human, half-Terminator head. It is sitting on a little hover pad. And smiling. Oh, that is not creepy at all. Ah, man, I hate robots. I know I usually make an exception for Coyote, but come on. At the clock tower, Goliath is also recovering. Hudson wants him to choose a second in command. Goliath puts it off. The pack lies low, really low, like on the bottom of the ocean low. That ship is pretty slick, because it's a submersible. This is a multi-million-dollar ship. Xanatos does not do anything halfway, and that's kind of a theme in this episode. Not doing things halfway. The pack isn't interested in what this door-to-hatch salesman has to say, except for Hyena. She's always thought he was cute. Not the fact that he looks like Xanatos. No, she likes that he's a robot. Kinky. Coyote, for his or its part, is as smooth as the real Xanatos. He says it's a shame for them to be beaten when they have so many resources available. Free resources. How? Why, they're from the hard-working men and women at Xanatos Enterprises. So what are these amazing advantages? Well, we're treated to a little video. Yes, Xanatos has a video prepared because he's a professional, and he doesn't do things halfway. There's genetic engineering, the mutates, cybernetics, Coldstone, robotics, Coyote, exo-armor, Xanatos himself in his Steel Clan armor. I love how he has turned all his previous projects into demos for sales. He's such a businessman. Wolf likes the genetic engineering. Hyena and Jackal like the cybernetics. Dingo is a lone, sane member of the group, which is saying something since he's an Aussie and they're crazy. He wants the armor like Xanatos has. Well, that's my choice too. And there is Dingo sitting with Coyote's head, which is now just free of its pad and just sitting on his knee. And he's holding it there. Oh, it is so messed up. The pack wonders why Xanatos doesn't come ask them himself. Well now, you all think highly of yourselves. As a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, he does not have the time to meet with some mercenaries. He's a busy man, says Coyote. Besides, there's no way he'd risk being caught talking to these people. Plausible deniability must be maintained. And I also love how Xanatos kept Coyote's head the way it is. It's kind of like, try and tear this up, but I'll just keep bringing it back. Because he could easily just upload the consciousness from the cloud into some other perfectly, intact body. The game's afoot. We move to Xanatos' throne room. He and Fox are sitting at his desk, staring at a game of chess. Yeah, he's busy, all right. Fox is wearing her pack costume for some reason. Does she, just sometimes bum around the castle dressed as Fox the ninja fighter? Does she want to relive the old days, or did the animators screw up? At least they remembered she has green eyes. Alright, that plant is getting bigger in the corner, I swear. Somehow, I don't think this scene is here just to show us how some of our antagonists pass the time. The game is symbolic. Yeah, more on that later. Belated 2020 moment. What's Xanatos up to now? His last project was cloning Goliath, and that did not go to plan at all. That almost ended with him in an oil-fueled barbecue. Note I say in and not at. I wonder if he told Fox what happened. Probably not. There are some things in life that nobody needs to know about, because if they did, they'd question your ability to perform your day-to-day activities safely. It's been half a month, which is long enough for Xanatos to either get bored or decide to continue one of the many plans he has in progress. A month later, at the clock tower, the trio are arguing who would be the best second in command. None of them. But disqualifying them leaves the gargoyle dog, or Hudson. And he already gave up his leadership to Goliath in the first place. They leave just before Elisa arrives and says the SWAT team has the pack pinned down in an abandoned building. There's one thing Elisa is bad at. It is spotting a trap, I have to say. And there's a picture of, some explosions and stuff, and a cop car, and the building site. Welcome to the freak show. They arrive just as the SWAT team shoots tear gas into the building. The place promptly explodes. Either they loaded the wrong canister, or it's a setup. Sure enough, the talking head Coyote zips down to inform Goliath, Hudson, and Elisa, and Bronx that the real action is in the steel frame of the construction site. Nightmare fuel, anyone? He's back in that little hover thing, floating around. Oh, and the music that goes with this, yeah, if you don't have the DVD series, go buy it just for the music in this. It is also nightmare fuel. And perfect, by the way. The Pack appears. Holy abominations, Batman. The Pack is a regular freak show now. Wolf is a wolf man, straight up. Dingo is in a hunky, ugly yellow gold armor. But by far the most disturbing are Jackal and Hyena, not surprisingly, who went the cybernetics route. Now, cybernetics is all well and good if you have to rebuild a body, as in Coldstone's case, but it's downright disturbing when you have a perfectly normal body and you start cutting and pasting. Basically, all that remains of them that's still flesh is their heads, necks, and in the case of Hyena, upper chest and abdomen. And there's Jackal sticking his arm back onto his upper arm. Zombie arms. I can't even. Yeah, it actually crawls around on its own. Apparently there are more people like Severius at Xanatos Enterprises, because I don't know any surgeons or researchers who would amputate basically a person's whole body as an elective surgery. Do they save those organs just in case the machines don't work? Yeah, I would like to see basically Severius's equivalent when it comes to robotics. I think that would be interesting. And what kind of person does that to themselves? You can't trust that you can always access somebody to do upkeep on your hardware, you know. You could end up with another, and this is a spoiler here, Texnolize situation. If you ever watched that anime, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have not watched that anime, you should. Very good one. Now everybody gets these fancy robot parts, then the powers that be shut them off. Now everybody's stuck, literally. I'd want to know exactly what the track record of this procedure was and how other people handled it. It's going to get really bizarre when the siblings get old. They'll be senior citizen heads on top of robot bodies. Okay, this is getting too gross for me. Wow, I'm sure glad none of the cops looked over from next door, because we've got a pile of gargoyles and Elisa, unconscious, and the Pack standing over them. Moving on. Anyway, we have the new Coyote. He is a hulking monster. In typical trickster style, Xanatos has kept Coyote as he was, a head with half the skin on. It's instantly recognizable to the clan, and it's creepy as heck. Seeing it in a giant body is nothing if not intimidating. We get a nice throwdown. Hyena versus Elisa, Dingo and Wolf versus Goliath, Jackal versus Bronx, and then Wolf versus Hudson, and then Coyote versus Goliath. It's fluid. In the end, Wolf bags Hudson, but Coyote takes out Goliath. Bronx and Elisa don't count, even though they're unconscious too. The Pack reveals that they had a bargain. Whoever took down the biggest gargoyle got to be the leader. So that's officially Coyote. Problem is, not everybody wants to follow a robot. Hyena, of course, has the hots for the bot. Dingo thinks Wolf is nuts for turning beast. Jackal sides with Wolf, who sides with himself. Oh, look, it's a parallel situation with the clan. A leader needs to be chosen. Halftime. Yeah, it's a short review, I know. That's because most of this half was fighting. We had two extended ones, at the bank and at the construction site. The most interesting part of the ep is the Pack's willingness to sacrifice their bodies for the sake of victory. They're not, except for Dingo, thinking of any future other than the criminal one they've made. Also, Dingo is the only one who was not arrested there. I suppose that makes a little sense, since they'd just land back in prison if they tried anything normal. What would they do anyway? Work at the deli, cutting meat with their Wolverine-style claws? Wolf could be a bodybuilder or a coach, and Dingo could go back to Oz or be a mercenary. Only Fox, who was always far more intelligent than her cronies, thought beyond the tiny world of the Pack, and the Pack TV show. Now she's living the high life in high society with the man of her dreams. Heck, she's even a mom. I'd say she transitioned to a normal life well. Now, what's going on with Fox and David's chess game? Xanatos dumped a lot of resources into the Pack, so what's he up to? He's originally wanted the Pack as private mercenaries who had no connection to him. Is he rebooting that plan? Tune in next time for the conclusion, where we see just how freaky the Pack is. We'll also see who wins the House Xanatos chess game. Believe me, it's more than a trivial pursuit. So what did you think about those questions? Do you like how it's proceeding so far? Well, you can comment here. You can comment on the blog. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.